Hello, it's David and Claudia from Vidoc Security Lab, and today we are going to talk about 2022 and our achievements in terms of bug bounty hunting and Vidoc Research, our security platform for researchers and security teams. A busy year, but first a little bit about us. We are security researchers. We work together in one of the fintech companies' security team. We decided to join forces and work together on security research and bug bounty hunting. We also built a tool for security researchers, and we decided to share it with the world.
And the year was quite challenging for us because we are working on the project only part-time, and to be honest, we didn't think that it would turn out so good. We were able to earn $120,000 from bug bounty programs, and we found really interesting vulnerabilities along the way, and we met really good hackers.
Yeah, exactly. So what was most exciting for you in 2022?
For me, it was the amount of knowledge that we gained throughout the year. First, we had to learn how to set up our own scanning infrastructure, how to optimize it for cost, because we didn't have a lot of money and we were doing it only part-time. We didn't think about the scale at the beginning.
Yeah, we wanted to hack all the public bug bounty programs simultaneously. So we were scanning like more than 2 million hosts daily. One of the most exciting things for me was the scale. Large scale hacking is totally different than like working on one host at the time or even one company at the time, because you have hundreds of companies. For me, also exciting thing was meeting researchers, because we collaborated a lot this year with top people in the industry. We had opportunity to meet and to learn from great and very experienced people.
They also gave us some really cool 0 days.
Yeah.
And we helped them with finding more instances of the vulnerabilities.
Because once we set up an infrastructure, it was easy for us to test different kind of vulnerabilities at large scale in a small cost. Okay, so the summary: 120K in bounty and 112 reports last year. And one of the most popular questions we get is, what was your setup? What tools did you use?
So at the beginning, we didn't want to spend much time on it. So we just took the open source tools that were available at the time. So we took Nuclei, AMAS, and Subfinder. It wasn't so great. Yeah. They weren't optimized for the scale we wanted to operate at. Yeah. And we had to rethink the whole process again. So we created automatic recon. We designed the whole process to be really good and to give great results, but at the same time, it's really easy to use it. We could add as many domains to monitor as we wanted, and we created our own request engine that was a lot faster than Nuclei, but accepted really similar format to the Nuclei templates. It's still YAML based, and you can define vulnerability in one file, but it's more powerful and faster.
And the tool turned out to be so good that we decided to share it, and we created our own platform for security researchers and security teams called Vidoc Research. If you didn't check it out yet, you have a link in the description. And check it out and let us know what you think. This platform consists of everything you need to do the large-scale hacking and large-scale security research. It includes the recon module. You can also work on your own vulnerabilities and create Nuclei-like templates to test one kind of vulnerability across all the hosts and infrastructure.
Important thing to add is it's all web-based, so you don't have to set up anything. You just create an account, log in, and you can use it from anywhere in the world, and almost on any device. You can just have some iPad or some tablet, and you can scan thousands of hosts with that. So surprising thing was that many people use our tool from mobile devices.
And in the beginning it was surprising for us because we didn't expect that, because we usually use our laptops to do that, to do the research. But there are some people who want to be up to date with all the targets, and they use the tool on mobile device as well.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun fact.
Yeah, and we recommend using the site from computers. Like, it's not yet optimized for mobiles as much as we wanted it to be, but we'll get there.
2022 was definitely challenging year for us. We can say it was a successful year. So here's our top 3 of 2022. Let's start with reported bugs. Our top 3 reported bugs are excesses in Swagger UI, 37 reports, simple misconfigurations, which resulted in 13 reports, and Log4j vulnerability that resulted in 8 reports. So if it goes about the Swagger UI, it was surprising, definitely.
We found a lot of instances of that vulnerability. And for example, in Microsoft, we found hundreds of instances of this vulnerability. We didn't have time to report all of them, so we only chose the most interesting ones. Interesting thing was some of the bug bounty programs paid us $100 for that vulnerability, and other paid us $10,000. And we reported the vulnerability the same way, but it resulted in different bounties.
Another one interesting thing about this vulnerability is the fact that many companies make exactly the same mistake across all the infrastructure. So it's a tip for bug bounty hunters: if you find one type of vulnerability on the endpoint that belongs to a given company, check out different part of the infrastructure, because there is probability that they made the same mistake on other parts as well. We have this experience with Swagger UI. We found tens or even hundreds instances of vulnerable component on Microsoft infrastructure. And we of course sent several reports. So we noticed after some time that they added an entry in their bug bounty policy stating that they won't pay for Swagger UI related issues. We of course don't know if we were the only factor that influenced them to add this entry, but it was definitely a fun thing to see.
Some of the companies weren't vulnerable at given point in time, but when we scanned them daily, it turned out that the developers make mistakes, and we found some vulnerable instances.
So yeah, definitely. We found bugs that were available only for 2 hours because a developer was setting up a test instance of Prometheus and they misconfigured it and it's open to the world. And they closed it immediately. But because we noticed it, we reported it and we got a bounty for this bug. It only shows that assets monitoring is important. Talking about misconfigurations.
We noticed that companies make the same mistakes over and over. And these are really basic mistakes, like leaving debug mode enabled in Django instance.
Yeah.
Or when somebody deletes a S3 bucket that was available on some subdomain and you can take over this subdomain, or misconfigured Nginx instance. And these vulnerabilities are really easy to detect, but for some reason they still exist in big tech companies.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you take into consideration that most of the tools that are implemented in the development pipeline, they're kind of good in spotting classic vulnerabilities, but if it goes about config, everything depends on the context, right? The type of configuration that would work for one case won't necessarily work in other circumstances. It's easy to miss this kind of vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and also companies have thousands of servers and different subdomains. So usually security teams don't know what is out there. They don't have a view on all of the assets, or they know about assets a couple of days after it's created. It's really easy to miss something.
And third top reported bug resulted in 8 reports was Log4j. And Log4j was also our best earning vulnerability in 2022. Most of you remember the December 2021 and whole mess with Log4j, because it was everywhere. Security world was talking about it for a very long time. What we found out is that companies often don't have tools to monitor this kind of incident, this kind of vulnerabilities. When we were reporting Log4j, even big companies, top 5 tech company, I won't tell you the name, but they had a critical, were able to read environment variables and secrets from one of their endpoints. When we first reported the vulnerability, they told us that it's too new and they won't pay bounty for it. And we were surprised, but okay, let's move on. They closed the report. And then after 3 days, they reopened it, saying that, yes, if you have any more of this kind of vulnerabilities, please let us know. And they paid a bounty. Like, companies often don't know that the given asset available on the internet belongs to them. We had situations that we were reporting the vulnerability on given endpoint, and they weren't sure if this endpoint belongs to this company, and we had to wait for this to be checked. From our perspective, it sounds unbelievable, but in case of huge companies that consist of several smaller companies and have infrastructure in several countries on-site and cloud, it might be hard to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. The vulnerabilities was first discovered in the December. Companies fixed vulnerable instances, I think, in a couple of weeks or months.
Yeah.
But then we started noticing that when companies pushed new code, created new services, we started seeing the Log4Shell again.
Yeah, exactly. We still find vulnerable instances related to Log4Shell vulnerability. We are working on the research article, so feel free to follow our social media. We will be sharing it soon.
Conclusions.
Okay, so conclusions. We learned a lot in 2022. So we have some interesting takeaways from previous year. And the first one is consistency is the key.
Yeah, as we said before, many companies make the same mistakes again and again. So your only job is to monitor new assets and existing assets for given vulnerability, and I guarantee you will find something. And this is what we did.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a company, you can buy our tool to do it yourself, or if you're a bug bounty hunter, keep an eye on your targets.
Yeah.
And that's our tip. The second conclusion is that quality of bug bounty program matters. When you do large-scale hacking or large-scale security research, you communicate with companies a lot. And some companies do communicate with researchers, respond to researchers' reports, pay for bounties, and other companies don't. Which is the reason why when we had like thousands of different kind of vulnerabilities to report, we had a list of companies that are worth reporting, and we treat them as a priority. We were filtering our vulnerabilities for those that belong to the companies we knew that will pay for bounties and that will communicate with us and let us know about their needs. We will be happy to help them secure their infrastructure.
We valued when company responded as fast and when they paid money on triage. But some companies didn't respond us for months, and we still have some reports open on HackerOne, Backroad, and Integrity.
This is a tip for all these people who run bug bounty programs in their companies. Talk with researchers. We understand that you are often very busy with development, and often the medium-level bug reported by some stranger on the internet isn't your priority. But at least communicate, because then we know that you value our work.
Yeah, and when we saw that company was unresponsive, we just didn't report them any more vulnerabilities. And another takeaway was collaboration. We didn't expect that we would meet so many cool researchers. The researchers gave us their latest research, and we helped them with finding different vulnerable instances of that issues. And we learned a lot of them from that.
And as we mentioned already, it was often quicker and more efficient to work with people, not alone. Okay, what we did right, what we did wrong in 2022.
I'm really glad that from the beginning we thought about optimizing the cost of the whole infrastructure. And at this point, we are pretty happy with our solution, and we were able to scan 2 million hosts daily. This is for us really big win, and we can offer you the same features.
And it always pays off long term. Okay, and what we did right was to keep everything in one place. When we first started working together, we had to find a way to share our results. Of course, you can download the history of requests from Burp tool, or you can write a mini documentation on your research, share links and other things like this, share payloads. But often it took a lot of time, and it wasn't really comfortable long term, especially when more than 2 people collaborate and another person joins and you have to show them everything again. This is something that we decided to change our security platform. We decided to add a feature that will allow to share your research results with others. We can right now keep everything in one place, and we don't have to export every single thing we find. We just share the project, and everybody who is using our platform can have access to this. Of course, this feature is still under development, and we will be sharing it in the future when everything is tested. I'm looking forward for this feature because I think it's one of these features that will be most useful for security teams in companies. When we were working in the fintech company, we had kind of big application security team. One of the problems we had was how to share the results of our work with the team to be able to collaborate. Right now with Vidoc Research, it's more efficient and works well.
With our platform, the whole knowledge stays within the company. So even when somebody leaves or doesn't work with somebody, you still have those modules, and you still detect the vulnerabilities, and really useful.
Okay, so I think that's all. We are very excited about the project, and we are looking forward to 2023. We are working right now on a Log4j research article, so feel free to follow us on our social media. And once again, link to Vidoc Research is in the link below. We also have a Discord server dedicated to security researchers using our tool, so feel free to join. And yeah, stay tuned.
Thank you, and see you soon.
Bye.